Hello, everyone, and happy new moon. I wanted to talk with you on this October new moon about an ancestor's supper. I've had a number of people ask me, how do you hold an ancestor's supper? We call it a silent supper. There are many names for it. Some have called it a dumb supper, silent supper, ancestors dinner, honoring of the ancestors. Whatever you call it, this month, this season is a great time to do it. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some variations and ways that you can play with this idea, and even why we do it, and just give you some ideas about how we do ours, and then invite you to use your creativity to create your very own silent supper. You can do this with children. I have a children's version to this, and you can do it just with all grown-ups. It is really fun to do as a family. So take your pick how you're going to do it. I've done this with as little as one other person. My beloved and I sometimes have a silent supper with just he and I, where we invite our ancestors who have passed on. And we have had these suppers for upwards of 50 to 60 people. Back when we lived in Tucson, the Day of the Dead is something that in the culture there is deeply honored and celebrated. And so all season long, there's lots of people participating in processions and silent suppers. So it doesn't take a lot, or you can have a crowd. I do recommend having your first one just with you and a couple of other people, just to get the feel of what it is that you're creating and what the silent supper is all about. So let me start out with just first, why have a silent supper? What is it, and why should we do it? So a silent supper is a time to really honor our beloved dead, our ancestors, our friends, our pets who have made their transition. It's just a wonderful time to really honor all of those souls. And I actually feel that there's many more benefits to having a silent supper. Like, it really gives me a sense of closeness to my beloved dead. I can feel them very close by, because anytime we do something intentional and we invite in consciousness from somewhere else, but here in the body, it's been my experience that they love this, and in many ways I feel very joined by them. So that is the kind of what and why. Some other reasons too are, it's just like we have really sanitized death in our culture, and we've really not given a lot of honor to our loved ones who have passed on. This isn't to say all of us, just that it's sort of a cultural thing, to sanitize death, to be afraid of it, to think it's spooky and weird, to have relationships and to talk to our beloved dead. If you're watching this channel, chances are you do that all the time. You talk to your beloved dead all the time. And I sure do every single day. And So that's the sort of what and the why. Let's talk a little bit about just, how you can set that up and when to set it up. Well, first of all, I'm going to say when to set up a silent supper is whenever your heart tells you to. You can have your own silent supper or silent tea with your great-grandmother whenever your heart desires. A really great time to do that is the fall, traditionally. October and going into November. We usually have ours somewhere around November 1st or 2nd, but there is no dogma with silent suppers, and I have found there's just no dogma with the dead. The dead are happy to join us and thrilled that we're inviting us anytime, any holiday. So make it your own. Make it when it works for you. Maybe there's some special days that you have that maybe it's your beloved dead's birthday that you would like to celebrate and have a feast day, just for them. So again, this is all about us being creative. So some things that you can do for your silent supper, and this is if you're having just a very small group, perhaps you and someone else, you and a few friends. When we get larger, there's other things to consider, but you and a few friends, have everyone bring a dish and have that dish be something that whoever you're inviting, whatever beloved dead that you're inviting, and you may be bringing, one special grandmother, or you may be inviting all of your dead, but choose a dish that you really know that they loved. Either something they made that was amazing, like my grandma made amazing pierogies, and my other grandma made great apple pie and incredible sauerbraten. Doesn't have to be that complicated though. You can make their favorite desserts. Maybe they loved Twizzler candy, have that, bring that. It's not really about the food. So I try to invite people not to obsess over, like this won't go with that. We have to make sure we have, a salad. Like just let it be. I find it is the funnest and most beautiful experience just to let it be whatever it is. Pasta, meatballs, maybe your grandpa loved to go to the baseball game and have a hot dog, whatever it is, they're gonna love it. Okay. So, and don't worry about, balancing out the meal and all of that. No need for that on this night, right? Remember, no dogma. The dead do not have dogma. So, the food is part of it. Everyone comes, and invite everyone to both bring a dish and bring pictures, perhaps jewelry, something very special that their beloved dead, maybe wore all the time, or a picture of them, a number of pictures. And what you all want to do as a community when you come in is make a big, beautiful table of all of the pictures and items of your beloved dead. Make the table gorgeous. Some call this an altar, some call this an ancestor's table, whatever you want to call it. Make sure there's flowers and just that it's really lovely. Everything can be right outside your door, acorns, pine cones. You can make it super inexpensive and filled with nature, lots of colored leaves, maybe all over the table. Again, be creative, do your thing. And maybe put someone in charge of, arranging that table as as the people come in, and this can be really fun for the children as well to get involved with. And so then we have an entire script for our silent supper, which I'm happy to, to provide. You can email me and I will email you either a children's or a grown-up script or both. I'm at hearthlight25@gmail.com. Hearth, HearthLight 25 at gmail.com. Hearthlight as in, hearth. So yeah, you're having everyone bring their items in. And then when you get started, you give everyone just the opportunity to say what dish they brought, right? Like, I'm bringing pierogies. This is like the food of my ancestors. My great-grandmother could make these in her sleep. I order them from the Ukrainian, deli because I can't make them myself like she did, but all the babas there, or the local church, you just tell a story about the food. So that begins the storytelling, okay? And then when everyone's sort of settled in, then it's time to kind of have to go into a quiet time. So at this point, we always have stationery and a pen at each person's place setting. So we set a really nice table, and at the end of the table, that is the spot for our beloved dead. And so we just have a place setting there. I usually decorate it with some beautiful scarves and some flowers, and so that it's very clear that I'll put a rose on the chair. It's very clear that is where our beloved dead will join us. And then what we do is we tell everyone that we're going to go into silence soon. And I usually use a bell so that when I ring the bell, that's when we go into silence. And we write letters. We write a letter to one of our beloved dead, either whoever we invited or choosing one of them, because it would take all night, right, to write to everyone if you're inviting a number of people. But you're going to just, once you ring that bell, you'll be surprised. Everyone just really goes into, it's like all of our beloveds just join us in the room. And I have seen and witnessed just some beautiful moments with people. I could tell you so many stories about that. I'll save them. But for the most part, it's just a very tender time where, you and your people are writing a letter to someone that they dearly, dearly love on the other side. And you just set that letter aside. And then you've already instructed everyone, we're just going to get up and go one by one, get our plate, we're going to come back, and we're going to have this meal in silence. And what we want you to do is just reflect on, what it would be like if they were right here with you, if you are having a conversation with them. And I can say for myself, and it does make me a little emotional, every time I've done this, even if I'm hosting it for 50 or 60 people, I can feel the presence of all of them there. And it's very tender, but actually it's not sad. It's so honoring, and it's just it's such a beautiful, dignified dinner and celebration of them. So believe it or not, It's actually really possible to eat a meal in silence. And that's one of the questions that newcomers always ask me, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be quiet. What if I start giggling or whatever? And no worries. Actually, it's never, in all the silent suppers we've ever had, it is just like a presence comes into the room and everyone just knows what to do. It is a little different with children. You want to give children that space to, I explain it a little different to children. I say, oh, we're probably going to be a little quieter here because, we're thinking about great grandpa, or we're thinking about, Topper, our dog who passed away. And so we're probably going to be a little quiet. Maybe we're going to draw a picture of Topper and just tell him that we love him. And, so it's not, this like total silence with children. It's a little different. Again, I have a different script for children. I am happy to send one or both of those to anyone who would like one. So then after the dinner, after everyone's done, I've kind of sensed everyone's done eating. I ring a bell again and we go outside and we have a fire pit. And we burn those letters sort of as offerings to our beloved dead. We just let that smoke rise, and we just think about them. And it's also a very beautiful, beautiful moment. And then we come inside, and then comes dessert and the joyful time of telling stories. And I cannot tell you how beautiful this time is. Everyone just comes to life and they tell stories about one or maybe two of their beloved ancestors or friends that have passed or animals. And you can just see everyone soaking in each other's stories. And I gotta tell you, it truly is, it's one of my favorite things in life to do. And I know for them, it's one of their favorite things to come and enjoy. So this is, in a nutshell, the Silent Supper. Again, if you'd like those scripts, send me an email, request which one or both that you'd like, and I'd be happy to get them out to you. So I hope this is helpful to you, and in some way you choose to really honor your ancestors in the next month or so. And again, there's no particular time. Some families like to wait until around Thanksgiving or, in the holidays when there's more family members there and available. You can do this with 2 people. You can do this with 22 people. You can do this with 62 people. The more the merrier. But I've had great experiences with all different numbers. And so thanks for joining me on this new moon for Silent Supper. Blessings until the full moon.